And we're off. We are live officially here on the Win This Listing Facebook page today for a very special message that I feel a duty to deliver. Now, as the host of the show on Win This Listing, I'm also in charge of casting homeowners and casting the real estate agents. So I talk to a lot of people who are selling their homes on a daily basis, and I talk to a lot of real estate agents on a daily basis. I also hosted a consumer financial talk show for 10 years on the radio prior to getting into TV. So I have been and have lived through the most recent real estate crash that we had. Now, the purpose of today's message is not to alarm you. It is not to cause a panic of any kind. However, we cannot ignore what we have learned over the years, especially in the world of finance, and specifically with regard to real estate here in San Diego, which is a very big deal for everyone. And where I come from in Missouri, real estate's not that big a deal. You buy a house for $100,000, 20 years later you sell it for $120,000. But some of the stories that we've been hearing lately are cause for concern, not to mention some of the data nationally that has come out that has mirrored the data that led ultimately to the most recent real estate crash. So what I want to spend the time talking to you about today is some of the warning signs that are out there. And if you are a homeowner and you have been waiting to sell your home, as many of the people who've actually done the show have told us, yeah, we've been wanting to sell for 2 years. Why haven't we sold? Well, because you're getting paid to wait, right? In an up market, if you're a homeowner and you're like, yeah, you know what, honey, we should sell the house. But every month you go by and you see, here's another person who sold in the neighborhood. Their house is sold for way more than we thought it would. Another person sold a house, sold for way more than we thought it would. Heck, we're getting paid to wait. We may as well sit it out. The problem is that that strategy doesn't work in the long run. In the long run, that means that everybody waits to put their house on the market until they have seen prices drop. And if prices drop a little bit and that causes everyone to put their homes on the market, that is what a real estate crash looks like. When you see that first bomb, I'm going to tell you today, I'm going to define the word comp bomb. Comp is a short term used for comparable. So when you hear real estate agents say comps or comp, they're talking about a comparable home. That means a home that's similar to yours. If a home that's similar to yours sells, that is considered to be a comp or a comparable sale that now is used to determine the value of your home. Specifically, over the course of the last 7 years, since we've seen prices go up and up and up every single year, you've seen comps go up and up and up. A comp bomb is when the first person, when the first seller that's really motivated, potentially desperate, sells well below what the current market value is and creates the new comp, a lower one, that lowers the value of your home. We call that a comp bomb. We're not really seeing those get dropped yet, but I'll tell you exactly why they are becoming more and more likely to happen in the near future. First, let's talk about the data nationwide. And by the way, I'm not warning you of a crash like 2008, but what I'm telling you is that this strong seller's market looks to be coming to an end in the near future. I could be wrong, of course, but I want to give you the facts that I have access to. I feel duty to bring it to you so that you can make the decision for yourselves as to whether or not this is a good time to sell or a good time to be greedy, a good time to sell or a good time to wait for a better time to sell. The choice is yours. So the information came out at the end of last year. In fact, it was in November, when we got the information from Business Insider. They did a survey of all of the municipalities and all of the foreclosure filings and notices of default that were filed across the entire country. What we noticed was that nationwide, there was about a 30% increase in default filings and about the same amount, 31% increase in foreclosures. I'm going to tag the article beneath in the comments so that you can read it for yourself. These areas, some areas, foreclosures went up 70%. Some areas 60%, 50%. But when you look at those areas, you go, oh, well, it's that place. Yeah, oh, it's Detroit. Oh, it's one of these cities. Of course, no one wants to live there. That's why they're seeing a crash. Those are the exact same things that people said last time we saw a crash here in San Diego. They said, of course, they're having trouble in Missouri and Michigan. They don't have the beach. We do, so we're okay. Another thing that we've heard people say a lot of that is dispelled in this article is that, well, people are fully qualifying for loans. Because people are fully qualifying for loans, they have to, you're not just giving loans to anyone who can fog a mirror anymore. You have to have income. You have to provide documentation. And because of that, it's safer than it was before. The difference is, and you'll see in the data, that only 8% of the loans that were done prior to the crash were loans that were done in the government sector, VA and FHA, and that number has skyrocketed in recent times. FHA and VA loans are great. They're great. They're government insured, low down payment loans, but those have become the new subprime. So even though people are fully qualifying for loans, they're still able to buy too much house. They're still able to buy more house than they can afford, and they're still able to buy homes that they wouldn't be able to buy if it weren't for FHA and VA, which means that they are a higher risk. We noticed in the last time when we saw the market go down that it was a psychological thing. There were plenty of people who could afford to make their payments, but when they found out that their home was worth $100,000 less than what they owed on it, they psychologically just couldn't write the check anymore. That's why we went through the loan modification nightmare. As of right now, we're only at the stage where we have the data that some places, some of the worst places in the country, have a huge spike in foreclosures. We're not seeing that happen in San Diego County yet. We're not seeing that. But what we did see was a rise in interest rates. So just a few months ago, we saw interest rates go up 0.5%, from about 3.5% to 4%. This is the equivalent of throwing a rock in a lake. That lake is full of all the fence-sitting home buyers. All the people who are sitting on the fence saying, should we buy? Oh no, prices keep going up. I don't want to buy now. I should have bought 2 years ago when I first started thinking about it. Well, those people who are sitting on the fence, when rates went up, the ones who are really motivated, that made them get off of their fence and get off their butts and get in there and buy. So we saw a frenzy. Rates go up, we see a frenzy. But the other people who fell off the fence, they said, oh no, rates are up, forget it now. Prices are up so much, we're not going to buy. So what happens is you see a quick frenzy, and we saw that, but there's a huge vacuum suck after that, and it's crickets. We don't have crickets right now. In fact, if you talk to any agent right now, they'll tell you properties are still flying off the shelves. People are still seeing multiple offer situations on homes that are even $800,000 or $900,000. We just saw one in Carlsbad I heard about today. Couldn't believe it. There's still a frenzy here in San Diego because there's an inventory shortage. Why? Because we haven't seen a comp bomb yet, but we're going to. And that's the next piece I want to give you. So interest rates have gone up. That rock has gone into the lake. The vacuum suck has happened. Certain buyers are now completely out of the market who were previously on the fence, which means our underneath layer, our protection in this marketplace just got thinner. Comp bombs have not been dropped yet, but they will. The higher prices go, the more equity people have. People who bought in 2010, 2011, 2012, those people have a lot of equity now. Those people can sell even if they don't get fair market value, and they can walk away with a profit. For example, let's say you bought a house in 2011 for $350,000. Today it's worth $550,000. You need to upgrade though. In that time you've made 3 babies. So now you need to go get a bigger house. You've got a ton of equity for your new down payment. You go and you find the perfect house, but it's still a crazy market, so you have to put in a really strong offer, which means that you can't have a contingent offer. You have to sell your home. Well, your home is worth $550, but guess what? You only get an offer for $505. You have to take that offer, right? You have to take it because you need to get into your new house, and guess what? You still have $155,000 of profit. So the more prices go up, the better chance there is a comp bomb, because your house that you just sold for $505 just became the comp bomb that's going to cause, that's the first domino. So when the comp bomb drops, and it hasn't yet, this is why I'm telling you it is actually still a good time to be a seller in San Diego, but I think those days are numbered, and I'm concerned about it. I'm seeing sellers be greedy. I'm seeing agents be greedy. When that first comp bomb drops, now it resets the whole neighborhood. You sold your house for $505. Now all of your neighbors go, heck, they only got $505? We thought our places would be worth, $5.5. And they probably were right. But now you've created a new comparable sale. And that hurts everybody. Everyone who's been waiting around, not selling their house because they believe they are getting paid to wait, those people are now all going to list their home. They're going to say, okay, this crazy market's over. We need to get the house on the market. We need to move now because we really want to live there, or we really want a different kind of place, or whatever it was that you wanted. That's when all the homes come on the market. That's when the advantage changes from the sellers to the buyers. It can happen in a lot of different ways. Reminder, we are not there yet, but all the signs that we saw last time are all slowly creeping up. A lot of people are in denial about it. Agents being greedy, sellers being greedy. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. Warren Buffett. So right now, I'm hearing stories. Agents out there, some who I love, bragging about double-ending deals. I've seen multiple situations where steering has taken place, illegal activity, for the sake of making money. We see a lot of people spending a lot of money in a lot of ways that remind you of pre-crash status. I'm seeing sellers say things that make no sense. Like, I know my home is only worth, $400, but I really want to get $500 for it. Can we list it at that? Things like that. Those are the types of conversations. Those are the types of things people are saying. That is the type of greed that is a red flag that lets you know that we may not be at the end, but it's near. Now, I'm not preaching that there's going to be some sort of real estate apocalypse in San Diego, but what I am telling you is this. The seller's market that we've been in, the straight up activity where incomes are going like this, but real estate prices are going like this, makes no sense. And it can't last forever. If you are a homeowner and you've been wanting to sell your home, or you have an investment that you need to sell in order to cash in on it, you may not find a better time than right now. In fact, the worst thing that could happen to you is that you get stuck. And I don't want to see that happen, especially if you bought your home in the last year or two. If you have equity in your home and you want to live in a different place, or you want to live in a different type of home, if you don't sell now, you may be stuck in your home. And what I mean by that is when the value goes down, you might be in a situation where you have to stay there or you have to do a short sale. And there may not be very many other options for you. So, sellers, beware. I feel a duty to provide and pass along this information. I will tag the article down below because I believe you need to know what I'm seeing as someone who's on the inside, not a real estate agent. I can't sell your house. I stand to make no money or have no conflict for telling you this. If you are considering selling your home, be smart about it. Don't be greedy. You still have the advantage, but I don't know how much longer you will have that, and I don't want to see you leave money on the table, and I don't want to see you get stuck in your home. Hopefully that's helpful. I'll leave you with this. If you're a homeowner, if you own investment property, real estate, take a hard look at this. Take a real hard look at it. Would you be happy selling for the number of what your home is worth today? Because if you would, I would highly suggest you take that. Take that money off the table. If you're in one of those situations where you say, well, yeah, we need to sell, but we also need to buy, and that's a difficult circumstance, that's okay. When you sell and buy in the same market, you're susceptible to the same circumstances. But in certain situations, you can have your cake and eat it too, depending upon what it is that you want to buy. So the key is exit. You can always enter. The key is exit. When you sell your home is when you make your money. When you sell your investment properties is when you make your money, right? That's when you actually get the money. So it's a crucial, crucial moment where you have to know what the market is really and truly going to yield. And right now, we have people pulling numbers out of their behinds and throwing it out there. And in some cases, it's actually working. It's wild. But here's the thing. It isn't going to last for long. We've seen this before. It doesn't last long. And we were on 7 straight years now. So with the foreclosures piling up across the country, with the data increasing, with the trajectory increasing, with the huge number of FHA and VA loans that have been executed and that people are currently owning homes with, knowing that those low down payment loans are very similar to the subprime loans that did get us into trouble, I have a lot of concerns. I've seen greedy sellers, greedy agents, and not any comp bombs yet, but they will come. And when they do, I hope you are where you want to be when that happens. Thank you for your time today. I hope it's helpful. Derrick Evens, signing off.